Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the Foundry. I'm JB here with Kryptonic Ken and Slykiko, and today we are reviewing the very first episode of Loki of Season 2. Welcome to Episode 1, Ouroboros, everybody. Boys, what a fantastic debut premiere episode, man. What a banger.
Honestly, yeah. I wasn't sure what to expect out of this, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was very interested.
I was honestly very cynical at the beginning because I was like, man, they left on a cliffhanger. How are they going to pick up from that? And then I was like,
what the fuck are we going to do? Like, what is going to happen?
They did a good job. They didn't
and Marvel
fall down
has
that
not been
rabbit hole,
shipping
too.
good shit.
Yeah, it was really good. We had a little bit of the time travel and the TVA, everything was just like
My brain hurts just thinking
about
about
just like they were all over the place, but I understood some of it. I remembered a lot from the first season, thankfully. And I love Mobius and I love Tom Hiddleston. He's so good.
Yeah,
and
they have
I'm
good chemistry.
So, it's so good, man. And I love that Loki and Mobius are just friends, and I love that they care about each other, and that's so fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
It makes me very happy. I was like, isn't it great that people have like on-screen friendships that they care about? Also, I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, think about like all the character development that Loki went throughout the entire MCU just from the Die Infinity War, and they're like, new Loki. I'm like, oh shit, man, that goes all the character development that Loki went through in the MCU, and he's like, here's a little 15-minute PowerPoint of everything that Loki went through.
Speed run your character development.
And he's like, cool, I'm that Loki now. You don't need to worry about any of that other stuff because I'm him and I know everything now. It's like, awesome. So we can just fucking retcon you actually dying. I just thought about that. I was like, that's kind of comical how they did that.
It was.
What was Man, the highlight of the episode was probably the actual scene with Ouroboros when they first meet him, and Loki goes back in time.
Obi?
Obi. Yeah. And
That was funny as hell.
Yeah.
They're both talking to him? Yeah.
That was
great.
You remember how we hung around? You left immediately. Yeah, no.
Oh, that was so stupid. How's everyone else? Everyone else? What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, how's everyone?
Oh,
You know what made me happy about this show? It was the first time in a long time I felt like Marvel did comedy well.
Yes, it was subtle because at one point I was thinking, I'm like, are they being funny right now?
Yeah.
That's actually what I thought. I was like, are they actually like, is this a joke? As like when they're in the elevator whispering to each other, and I'm like, this is like they are being funny and like they are and it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was like,
does it look good? He's like, does it look bad? He's like, does it look
okay.
painful? Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can't watch. And then that other person was in the elevator.
Yeah,
I was like,
girl
oh
was
shit.
so good.
Traumatized over there.
They did a fantastic job. It was
Mobius writing skin on the dusty computer.
Yeah.
So silly.
It was very funny. It's a funny goddamn episode. It's
it makes you think too, though. It's a good mix because I'm like, the time stuff is super interesting.
Yes.
Because based on what they said before, like they're supposed to be outside of time, in the TVA. So the fact that he's going between the past, the present, and the future, I'm like, how does that work when this isn't supposed to be in the timeline?
Right.
But I was like, sure, I'll just go with it. It's fine. It's not that confusing unless you keep thinking about it. So
That's
I
why
just
I'm
tried
happy
not
they
to think
solved
about
that
it too much.
in the first episode. They solved that whole rabbit hole with him. Like that was the objective. I was like, man, this would be some bull if the whole season we're just going back and forth with that. I don't want that.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
I feel
There's
like
too
it
many
was
plot points to touch already.
I feel like it was a pretty fun way for them to reintroduce all the characters, and also introduce Ob, who is class, and I hope that he's like for the rest of the season.
I love him.
He's quite good, and I love his positivity, and he gels well with the other characters. I feel like it was a very kind of fun and a little, kind of a icebreaker kind of way to get back into the season, and then for them to like. Because all the other characters are like, what happened, and like then they run down what happened and they explain it to you and like to the viewer and the rest of the people at the TVA, which is like kind of a really cool way for them to like just to backtrack and be like, previously on Loki season 1, that's what it was for the characters.
Yeah.
And also re-explain to all the viewers as well what happened, and here's what we need to do because of what happened, and here's how we need to restructure our lives because of what happened.
Right.
Which is
like he's explaining it to Mobius, and you're like, that makes sense because he doesn't know, but we do, but he still needs to figure it out. So like we get a bit of like recap, like you're saying, while he's trying to explain it. And I'm like, that's perfect. Now
Yes.
I remember everything.
And throughout the entire thing, Loki's losing his shit, and he has so much urgency and stress, and like this is awesome. Like
It
this
was
is
a fast-paced
awesome.
episode.
So
They did not
fast-paced.
let up.
At one point, I believe that when he was about to go to the loom, I think was that what it was called?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was gonna go out there. I stopped the episode. I'm like, how much longer? I'm like, is this about to end? I'm like, oh, it's halfway through. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Right? Yeah, so much shit happened in the first several minutes. I'm like, holy crap. This
So
is this is not letting up. I'm like, when is a good stopping point? I have no idea.
And it's like, no, not a lot actually happened this episode, but they kind of repaired or had a slight band-aid on what like happened at the end of the second season, which apparently, or excuse me, end of the first season, which apparently had so many repercussions that we have yet to really see the damage. But I mean, we got all the soldiers. What are they called? Not Reapers. What are they?
The TVA agents?
Yeah, the guys, the SWAT
Hunter?
gear. Yeah, the hunters. Yeah, all the hunters. They're all getting all set up and geared up and everything, and like their protocol is starting to like fail, and everyone's just kind of freaking out, and it's like chaos among like the bureaucratics.
Yep. They don't know what to do. There's not protocol for this. Why aren't you purging? And they're all finding out about the fact that they've all just been on the timeline. They don't exist there. They had lives like somewhere in there before, and they're all just finding that out and kind of freaking out, and they don't know what to do. And it's all quite interesting to see them like come to grips with that, because they're like, what?
Some of the characters are trying to go about a sensible way, and some of the characters are like, let's lash out and do violence. Like, hell yeah. Things we don't understand, kill. You know, as usual. But that was,
Love that.
It was just hype, and it was just very cool. I love OB. Sylvie, they're like, we need to find Sylvie, and I'm like, I kind of don't care about that. That's kind of crazy how they eventually revealed that this was like Kang's invention, and that they were like Kang was pulling the strings the entire time. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yep. He who remains.
Yes. I think that's
Yeah, I was not prepared for when Loki like tore down that wall. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. I have really not really complained, but it was really weird in that episode how they're all talking, and the one hunter picks up the magazine, and he's like, jet skis, and they start talking about jet skis. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
because Mobius's obsession.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just like,
it was
what is
very
happening
strange.
right now? It was like, why
It's
is
like, why
this
did he bother
hunter
bringing that up?
humoring him? And I'm
Yeah.
like, why didn't Mobius even pick up? Why did he stop his urgency to talk about? I was just like, feels weird.
And why did he have that weird hug with that other person in the war room? That was super weird. They got a little too close.
Definitely has to be like a mother or something like that. Otherwise, that's just weird.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that's what I assume, but it was still weirdly like close for a mother and son too. And I was like, what's going on?
Coddling a grown man, like, it's okay. I know he took your stick. It's okay.
Yeah.
And the
Don't
weird, like,
worry about
ancient one who was like almost a skeleton with like just skin on her. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the little
icky.
one. Yeah.
Icky. Very icky.
Yeah, that was
Miss,
crazy.
Miss Minutes was missing throughout the entire episode as well.
That's true. Well, remember, she's not to be trusted.
Exactly.
Yes.
Loki
don't
was
know.
like, bro, we can't fucking trust Miss Minutes.
How many like
Mobius is
heel
what?
and face turns we have like in this show is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And we had that big bad hunter that hated Loki the entire fucking time. She's completely made a face turn, and she's trying to help Mobius and Loki, and it's just like this feels good. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It was just
There's a lot
agree.
of crazy to come, I think.
I agree, and like I said, it's just not a lot happened in this episode, but it's just like, man, it just got me excited, and it was just very fun. A good fucking watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the most confusing part was the whole how to like repair his like going between times stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, this is interesting, like sci-fi kind of mystical stuff, but I was like, okay, I'll go along with it, but it didn't. I was unsure about anything that they were trying to say. They're like, oh, you need to put this thing in this thing. It's gonna send out that string. Loki's gonna like purge himself, and he's gonna come back, and it's gonna be fine. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Robus's
no idea.
explanation was nuts. I was like,
Yeah.
what's he doing?
I feel like they were so over the top about it to where they're like, if you want to follow along, you can, but it's not going to do any good because it doesn't make any fucking sense to begin with.
Right. I think that it was supposed to be like comically
I agree.
complicated to some
Yes.
degree, but I think I don't know. It was just I like while it was happening, I'm like trying to like wrap my head around what this concept means. Like the multiverse, I'm like, okay, fine. It's like just, you know, a bunch of like different like universe with different decisions. Fine, that makes sense. But then they're like, wait, hold on. This whole thing is powered by this what do they call it? Time loom or something? And it's
the
like
loom.
it's like
Where it like weaves time together. Yeah.
yeah, and because there's too many branches, it's like breaking down. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Why is more branches? It's like they were trying to make it complicated
Fuck,
to
didn't we-
just add more. And I'm like,
Didn't we
okay,
have a rule for Loki season 1? Didn't we say that like we cannot criticize the timeline bullshit? Didn't we
Yeah.
say that at the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of that
we-
season review last year?
Yeah, we had to be careful discussing like temporal consequences. I remember we were like, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
And I think that multiple
it's like
times we had to cut
consequences.
each other off, and we're like, nope, like we can't go into there because you know, like
oh no, I'm not trying to explain it. I'm just saying how they tried to explain it and it was confusing.
it was
So
very
it's
confusing.
their fault because they tried to explain it. So I'm
You're
trying to
right.
wrap my head around
Why are they
something
bringing the
tried to
fucking
explain.
semantics into this shit when they can't do a good fucking job of explaining it? You're right. Kid.
Just be
Fuck
like-
them.
note.
It doesn't matter. You're going through time. This is how you fix it. Blah blah blah. Boom, and you're back or something. You don't have to go in so much detail. Like now you're gonna try to make me think about it, and I don't want to try to think about it that much.
I completely tuned the fuck out and was like, nope, no thank you.
Right.
I value sleep and all that. I'm like,
Complete
there's
side
no
note.
way in hell I'm gonna be
I
able to
don't
keep
know
up and
about
try
you
to talk to you
guys.
guy about that shit.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on like the irony behind OB's name?
Ouroboros. It's very interesting
Yeah.
to where whenever he introduced himself, I was thinking about just eating himself away the entire time.
Exactly.
Like,
I was like,
that's
I'm just thinking of that snake that's like just stuck eating himself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the same thing with like Mobius. It's
And
like
just,
there's
like,
another time reference.
Time is a loop, and it's just like, it was just very interesting, and I'm just like, I really need to stop thinking about this. But no,
Yeah.
it
Isn't
was
the what is it? The sacred timeline, right? Isn't that just like a giant circle essentially too that just wraps around itself? More
Because
or
I
less.
think a lot of
That's-
people say that time is always like due to repeat itself. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, to some degree.
Or maybe it's just like it's a vicious cycle of continuing working at the TVA just for I don't know. Because
Yeah.
people a lot of
There's probably
like,
a few-
Ouroboros is known for like self-sabotage. You know, it's where you eat
Yes.
yourself or you fuck yourself over. And it's just like I'm kept trying to look in the episode. I'm like, who is self-sabotaging themselves in this episode besides the TVA?
Right. Maybe we'll find out.
It could eventually be Loki because like that's what he does best.
Yeah, you're right.
He gets screwed.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
screws
He
himself over
honestly,
completely
yeah.
by pushing people
In his
away.
efforts to do something like succeeding, he just shoots himself in his own foot always.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
kind of hard to see because like I think the biggest thing why he does that is that he pulls out of every relationship he's ever been with, like his brother, like parents, father, you know, anyone. He's screwed them over, and with this one, he has formed so many great relationships and cares for like everyone that he's seen, even people at the TVA, the goddamn janitor guy. He's like, oh, dude, what's up? You know, like he
Casey,
cares
yeah.
for him, and he cares for Mobius, and I feel like he even like trusts OB as well. It's just like I love him interacting with people and not being a complete fucking dick too.
It's crazy how different this Loki is. Like this Loki got hit with humility
Yes.
because of
Yes.
all the shit that he saw
Mm-hmm.
and went through. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because Loki's like notorious for not learning from his mistakes, you know?
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
He's breaking free.
Yes, from the
He's beginning to believe.
What did you guys understand what killed him? What purged him? He got purged from like behind, it seemed.
I
He
thought
saw
he was-
Sylvie in the elevator and then he got purged.
I
Did
think
someone
that
else
he was
do it?
pruning himself.
No,
Yeah, but-
someone pruned him.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't have that stick. I think he, was
didn't
looking
have
for
the
it.
stick, yeah.
I
I'm
don't
convinced
fucking know, dude.
it was another version of him in the future.
That's what I was thinking as well. Because he would have known somehow, and he was like, I gotta purge myself. Bang. All right, cool.
Oh, that'd be really.
Because
cool
I was like, who else is
realization.
gonna want to inadvertently help him? It can't be Kang, unless Kang is sick and twisted and like, yeah, I want a little bit of competition. I want a challenge. Yeah, why not? Which possible, very possible, but
Possible, but I think
Man.
my thought was what you said, Sly, was that it was some other version of him, that killed him or something.
That'll be a really cool realization later in the season when you see.
yeah,
him
when we see that
bruised.
perspective where he just is like, I'm gonna ram this freaking stick up this Loki.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Right. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah. I don't want to think about that because I just realized like how confusing that gets because that happened in the future, so it could have easily.
So
been
that's gonna be his
himself.
past.
Yeah, 'cause he
Exactly.
would have known. And it
There
all comes full
is the
circle.
cycle
And then he
right there.
talks to Sylvie, and then something happens, and blah blah blah, and
Yep.
some other crazy
Without
shit
one thing
like that.
happening, the other can't happen in order to make that one thing happen.
And we have a time loop.
There you
Great. That's where we stop thinking about it again.
Yep, that's when
Yeah,
we'll stop. All right, what do we give
we
this
hit
episode,
pause right
gentlemen?
there.
I give
8.
this a 9.
Damn.
Ooh,
I love the
a
fuck out
9.
of this episode, dude. I
Hell
had
yeah,
so much
dude.
fun watching.
I
it.
do too. I just.
Or a hater. No, I'm just kidding.
I
You want to give
wish-
room for like better episodes, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So
Don't get me wrong,
I'm agree. I'm gonna be. I'll make it easy for us. I'll say
Could be a
8.5
okay.
because we gotta
I was like,
have
how much of
room
a hater are
to-
you gonna be?
You're
Ken?
right. You're
Let me
right.
know.
We'll see. All right. Well, let me know if you guys did not enjoy the episode, like Ken and Sly here, down below in the comments, please. And no, we'll see you guys later on episode 2. Hopefully for more season 2. I'm very excited, looking forward to this. I
Yeah.
finished this episode today, and I was literally like, I want to watch more. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, very, very.
It'll be
very
here
good.
before we know it.
Yeah, but we'll see you guys later on episode 2 for some more Loki. But until then, bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.